most obvious reason for the fall of the Roman Empire was invasions by groups such as the Visigoths. These began as early as the year 200. Rome also fell due to political turmoil. In this time there were frequent civil wars. The government was becoming more oppressive. There was also economic weakness because of heavier taxes needed to cover military costs. Social decay also made Rome fall because patriotism declined. The Battle of Tours happened in 732 AD because Muslim armies overran Christian lands. Charles Martel sent troops to Muslim camps. The Christians won the Battle of Tours, and the Muslims didn't advance any farther into Western Europe, but continued to rule Spain. Charlemagne, or Charles the Great, was the grandson of Charles Martel. He became king of the Franks in 768 AD. He united Western Europe for a brief time by building an empire across France, Germany, and parts of Italy. Charlemagne was a very powerful ruler. Not only did he unite Christian Europe, but he brought back education, and for much of his 46-year reign, he fought the Muslims. In 799, Pope Leo asked Charlemagne for help against rebellious Roman nobles. In the year 800, Pope Leo III showed how grateful he was by crowning Charlemagne Emperor of the Romans. In 793 AD, Vikings came from Scandinavia and began to invade Europe's most defenseless areas, which were Great Britain, Ireland, and monasteries. The Vikings broke the unity of Charlemagne's empire. Their invasions reached very far, even to the Middle East. Vikings were not only destructive raiders, but also traders and explorers. The king gave charters and privileges to towns, and fiefs or land to nobles. Towns and nobles provided knights to serve the king. In return for work, nobles provided protection to the peasants. 90% of the people were peasants. Peasants had to work in fields. They used an ox-drawn plow. The husband would pull the ox along, as the wife urged it along with a pointed stick. Peasants in the Middle Ages had a very simple diet, consisting of vegetables such as cabbage, turnips, onions, and sometimes fish. Men, women, and children would work in the fields from sun-up until sundown. The church was the largest building in a village and was a social center as well as a place of worship. The Pope had authority over all secular rulers. This is called papal supremacy. Excommunication was the most severe punishment. It meant a person can't receive sacraments or a Christian burial. Interdict was when an entire town, region, or kingdom was excommunicated. In the Middle Ages, a lot of new technology arose, such as the iron plow, horse harness, windmills, and the three-field system. The increased agricultural production due to these technologies led to healthier people, which caused an increase in population. Too many people were living on farms and villages, so many left the farms for opportunities in towns. When people started moving to towns, the towns would grow. Also, things like insurance, paper money, and stores and banks came into existence, as well as the middle class and the end of feudalism. The Crusades began in 1096. The Christians and Muslims were fighting over the town of Jerusalem. The Crusades happened because Pope Urban told the Christians to stop fighting each other and go fight the Muslims. There were 9 Crusades in all. In the end, the Muslims won. The bubonic plague was carried by fleas, which were on rats. 1 in every 3 people died from the plague. They would get black spots on them as well as lumps under their arms. The economy suffered because of the plague. Prices of labor rose because workers kept dying.